To become a back-end developer, there are 5 essential skills. Let's go over them one by one. The first step to learning back-end development is to pick up a programming language. Here we have a few options like JavaScript, Python, Ruby, Java, C# and Go. Now which one is the best? Well, it's almost impossible to pick one language as the best or the ultimate language, because the choice of language depends on various factors like project requirements, team expertise, and performance needs. For example, JavaScript is used for full-stack development because we can use it on both the front end and the back end. In contrast, Python and Ruby are often used for rapid prototyping and fast development cycles. Java and C# are often used in building large-scale enterprise-grade applications, so are heavily used in large organizations and government systems, and Go is used for performance-critical and concurrent applications. Now, a common mistake I see among my students is that they try to learn many of these languages, hoping that this would increase their job opportunities. But it doesn't work that way because learning a language is only the first step. You also need to learn the ecosystem of tools and libraries for that language to land a job. So if you're starting out, just stick to one language, whichever you like, but also do a bit of research and see how many job opportunities are available for that language where you live. Generally speaking, there are often more job opportunities for Python, Java, and JavaScript. But again, I want you to do your own research. Now, assuming that there are more job opportunities for these 3 languages in your town and you are not sure what language to start with, I would recommend Python because it's the easiest and has a simple readable syntax that's great for beginners. My second choice is Java because it's a solid language and is often taught to computer science and software engineering students. JavaScript has a ton of weird parts and baggage from the past. Because it wasn't originally built for building backends, we can certainly use it to build great backends, and I've done that many times, but I still prefer Java or C# to JavaScript for building backends. So don't overthink this. Pick a language and dedicate 2 months to learning it. If you spend 3 to 5 hours every day studying and coding, you can learn any of these languages in about 2 months. The next thing you need to learn is a version control system like Git. Git is not a programming language, it's a tool that we use to track changes to our code and collaborate with others. Git and GitHub, which is a platform that hosts Git repositories, are essential for every developer. Git has a ton of features, but you don't need to know them all for everyday use. Think of it like the 80/20 rule. 80% of the time you use 20% of Git's features, so 1 to 2 weeks of practice is enough to get up and running. Now, building backends often involves working with data structures and implementing complex algorithms. This is where a lot of self-taught programmers struggle, because they try to skip ahead and learn more and more languages and tools without learning the fundamentals of computer science. Data structures and algorithms are critical subjects taught to computer science students, and they are often covered in tech interviews, especially at big tech companies like Apple, Google, and Microsoft. While you can skip this step and go to the next, as someone who has had the privilege of teaching millions of people, I highly recommend you not overlook this step. Otherwise, you're going to feel the pain later in your career. So spend 1 to 2 months studying classic computer science, data structures, and algorithms. This will give you a strong foundation in programming and problem solving. The next thing I would recommend to learn, which a lot of self-taught people miss, is design patterns. Design patterns are proven solutions to common software design problems. There are 23 classic design patterns that were documented in this classic book. Design Patterns by the Gang of Four. Many of these patterns are used in web frameworks, particularly Spring, Django, and ASP.NET Core, which we will talk about in a few minutes. So learning these design patterns will give you a deeper understanding of object-oriented design principles and how these frameworks work under the hood. I got to tell you, this book is pretty old and it's written in C++. Honestly, it's a difficult read because many of the examples in the book are dry and not quite relevant to modern software. That's why I've created a very hands-on and pragmatic course on this topic, where I use Java and modern examples that you find in applications we use every day. so you can see how these design patterns are used to solve problems.
Thank you very much.